We'll call to order December the 19th, 2022 meeting of the Robertson County Commission in order. I'd like to remind everybody about your cell phones. You got them with you. Be sure you don't, man, let me check mine. They on mute? I don't even know where mine's at. I guess it's in the truck. Anyway,
Lock her and mute it.
don't try to call me. All right. Okay, commissioners, we're gonna do roll call.
I called.
We're gonna do roll call.
That's here.
Here, press I or whatever. I'm missing some up here, so y'all going to have to work with me a little bit.
Present, but it didn't go.
Mine didn't.
Hit connect.
There,
Let me see it. Here, swipe that up right there.
wipe it up.
Yeah, there you go now. Why is it not connected? There you go.
Here we go. All right. Let's not tell me anything, Chad. I got 99 present and 99 absent.
Here, let me see it. If we get through this one, it'll be a miracle.
Y'all done knocked Melanie's heater in the darn trash.
Somebody sing us a song or something.
Start over.
I can see it.
Are we on, we being taped right now?
Yeah.
We used to be the best organized meeting in the United States.
Play tape back.
Used to be. Madam Clerk, will you call roll?
She'll have to tell you because it's not showing up.
Okay, you gotta tell me.
23 present.
Okay, we got 23 present, 1 absent. I declare we have a quorum. All right, I'm gonna do something I haven't seen done in a long time.
You know, it's not working over there. It is paused. Can you unpause it? All right, you just want to start over?
No, we're good.
Okay.
All right. If you stand with me, I'm gonna do the invocation. Followed by the flag. Father, we bow our heads tonight. This group that I'm so proud of as we do business in Robertson County and do what is your will, Lord. Forgive us, Lord, if we forget and take for granted the blessings that you put upon us, like the friends we have and the country we live in. And Lord, especially the blessing that you gave your son to die for my sins and our sins. On this year that we look toward Christmas, where we celebration of life, a life that you gave for a journey that was going to end on the cross. Lord, I'd like to be with our soldiers that are overseas, be with them at Christmas, be with law enforcement, and be with our families, Lord. And thank you for everybody in Robertson County, and God bless Robertson County. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, your package, you got the minutes from the previous meeting. I'll entertain a motion. Motion by Roberts.
Just 1 second.
Hold on. Hey, I'll just go ahead and move that. We'll come back to the minutes. Okay, of course, county courthouse and office buildings will be closed December 23rd and 26th. Also January 2nd for New Year's. In my locations, solid waste will be closed Christmas Eve and Christmas, but they'll be open the day after Christmas on Monday. Yeah. Now, I didn't ask a question about the convenience centers. Anybody know? Randy, you know?
I think they same, mate.
Yeah, I think they're all the same. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. All right.
You got it posted on the solid waste website.
Yeah. We was gonna take pictures next month for a group picture for the history, I reckon. We was going to go to the old courthouse and do it. I went in Judge Perry's courtroom. It's perfect. We'll do it there. And that way we won't have to drive back here. 'Cause I didn't want Chet to move everything and get this system dilapidated.
Oh,
So we're gonna take pictures about 6:30. Next county commission meetings, group picture. Be here, yeah. And that's about all I got in way of communications. All right, I got a motion. We're on the minutes again
Okay.
from the previous meeting in your package. I got a motion by Roberts. I need a second. Go ahead, write all this.
Just give me,
Okay.
I can do it. We got a second.
Got a second by Rommel, Commissioner Rommel. All in favor say aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? So moved. Minutes are filed. Okay, we'll move down to our reports. Start with the highway report. Any questions or comments? Animal control, any questions or comments? I'll just say that from the chair, that looks like things are moving good with construction. This week may slow it down, but it looked like everything's moving on. Trustees report, any questions or comments? The fire report, any questions or comments? Solid waste, any questions or comments? EMA report, any questions or comments? Planning Commission, any questions or comments? EMS report, any questions or comments? Veteran Service Offices, questions or comments? And last, finance, questions or comments?
Mr. Chairman, I have a question on the finance.
Okay,
On page 37 of the packet, I think I know the answer to this, but the anticipated revenues coming in, I guess, for new tax revenues, when will they be reflected? They're reflected as zero. And I know we have an item coming up on a new business for delinquent taxes, and I didn't know if they're reflected elsewhere in here and maybe I overlooked them or how that's handled.
we may get that question in new business. Kendra, do you understand what he was asking?
Yes, but it's not really not my question, but it's because the financial forms that you have are as of October, is that correct?
October
31st.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we had collected very little taxes at that point, because the tax bills didn't go out to the end of October. But currently, as of today, we've collected about half. So,
You good?
Well, the receivables, I guess, when would that be populated as a receivable of what we're anticipating to come in? This is what I was asking, really. I can ask Jody later.
Okay.
yeah.
Do you hear the question, Jody? We're getting way out of bounds
They're
here.
not reflected that way.
Okay.
That's what you're saying, what you see on the balance sheet, they're not reflected that way. I can help you understand the question when I actually have paperwork in front of me to see what you're talking about.
Okay.
It won't show as an accounts receivable.
Okay, I'll talk to Ms. Stewart offline then, that's fine.
Okay, thank you, Commissioner. All right. I need a motion, Madam Clerk, need a motion to file the reports.
Move the reports be accepted in order.
I got a motion by Haley. Need a second?
I'll second.
Okay, got a second by Commissioner Couch. Something's working, isn't it? All right, thank you, Madam Clerk. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Those opposed? So moved. Reports are filed. Okay, we'll go back to election appointments. Chair recognizes Commissioner Stubblefield from nominating committee.
As a way of explanation to our new county commissioners, and you may already know this, but when back in September on your first night, we went through nomination of all of our committees and I read them all off. It took a pretty good while and then we voted on them. Well, we're going to do that again tonight. But the reason we're going to do it tonight, it's not all of the committees, but all of our committees are out there are elected at certain different times. We have some elections of committees in January, some in July, some in September, some in December. And so they kind of go through the year. But what we did in September was we redid all of the committees because we had to take the commissioners that were leaving us and put you in their place. So you're going to hear some of the same things tonight that you heard in September, but it's because these that we're talking about tonight actually are due for reappointment or appointments in the month of January. So you will be hearing some, but that's, if I made myself clear, this is the month that we fill some of these committees again. So you'll hear your name again if you were on there. But anyway, the nominating committee has met and we're putting these names into nomination tonight. Animal control is voted on annually every year in January. And so we're voting on Jeff Ayers, Dr. Dan Hitch, Stacy Moore, Jonathan Rummel, and Lee White. There's no changes. Finance audit is appointed annually in January. Those names are Jeff DeLong, Kirk Brinkley, Michael Doris, Gina Head-Heber, Jonathan Rummel, Dennis Wade, Lanny Adcock, Brad Moreland, and George Hatcher. Finance investment is also done in January annually. Billy Vogel, Kendra Shelton, Darrell Woodard, Bob Stroud, Tommy Jackson. Budget is also appointed annually in January. Bobby Counts, Faye Stubblefield, Billy Ray Doris, Bob Stroud, Eric Roberts. Safety committee is annually in January. Martin Morgan, Bob Hogan, Teresa Levitt, Jada McDade, Captain Wayne Schoenheit, and Chance Holmes. Agriculture is layered every year. The terms expire in different times, different years. And so the agriculture is a 2-year term that we vote on every year in January. The committee members that their terms are expiring January of 23 are being that's who we're voting on this time. So these commissioners and citizens are on the agricultural committee and their terms expired in January of 23. Joel Bernard, Randy Wilson, Julie Russell, Jeff Ayers, and Gina Head-Heber. Emergency Communications EMS or E911 committee is 4 years. And so the people that I'm nominating tonight from the committee have 4 years. Their term expires in January of this year, of 2023. Bruce Dean, Jim Ring, and Mike Wilhoit. Board of Zoning Appeals is a 5-year term. And this year's expiring terms are Bob Stroud and Rick Robinson, so we're renominating them as well. Construction Board of Appeals is done annually in January. Matt Burnett, Steve Powell, Tracy Barra, Jerry Reynolds, and Trey Fan. Workhouse Board are 2-year terms. And the 2 commissioners this year that we're renewing their membership into that is Jonathan Rummel and Michael Doris. The Health Board are 4-year terms annually, 4-year terms. And we are not, they're normally done, I think they're done in January. However, we're only replacing one person on there whose term doesn't expire until 2024. We're replacing Dr. Tommy Crunk's position with Rachel Ellis. And she is the head of our health department. Is that correct? Yes. And our last one is Highland Crest College Board. There are 2-year terms. We normally vote on them in July. However, we have one replacement we're doing to fill that term up until it expires in 23. We're replacing Margot Fosness' position with Vonda Gates. So those are our nominations from the nominating committee.
Hey,
I need a second. Okay, I got a second by Commissioner Hogan. If you're for these nominations, take a voice vote, Madam Clerk. If you're for these nominations, say aye. If you're against it, vote no. Aye. Anyone against? Okay. Thank you, Commissioner Stubblefield. So moved. All right, we got a public hearing on planning and zoning. The chair recognizes Ms. Susan Martin. At this time, this is when the public is invited to be part of the county commission. She'll read the zoning issue and I'll ask for public response. Go ahead, Susan.
Tonight, we have before you Ms. Rebecca Hertzer to rezone 4 acres from AG2 to R40 Rural Preservation on Deer Creek Lane and Union Road. Second voting district, the planning commission vote was 7-0 to approve.
Is anyone here to speak on that zoning issue? Seeing none, I'll close the public hearing. Okay, I need a motion for Rebecca, was that Hexer?
Hertzer.
Voting District 2 from Ag 2 to R40. Hey, got it. Yeah. Commissioner Couch makes the motion, needs a second. Got a second by Commissioner Roberts. If you're for that resolution, vote yes. If you're against it, vote no. (23-4) and 0 against. That resolution for rezoning passes. Thank you.
That concludes. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, we'll move to item 10, our resolutions dealing with the budget. Chair recognizes Commissioner Couch, Chairman of the Budget Committee.
Madam Clerk, Mr. Mayor, honored guests, fellow commissioners, I'd like to present to you Resolution 121-922-118. It's a resolution amending the budget for the archives. If I can get a second.
Okay, I got a second by Commissioner Haley. Any discussion?
Question.
Question being called. If you're for that resolution, vote yes. If you're against it, vote no. Okay, got 23-4 and 0 against. I declare that resolution passes. Commissioner Couch.
I'd like to present resolution number 121-922-119. This is a resolution dealing with the school board.
Okay, I got a second by Commissioner Billy Ray Darts. Any discussion? Question being called. For that resolution, vote yes. If against it, vote no. I've got 23-4 and 0 against. That resolution passes. Moving right along, Commissioner Couch.
This is resolution 121-922-120. This is a resolution for the sheriff's department. It's a balanced budget amendment. They're distributing money from the federal government.
Okay, got a second by Commissioner White. Any discussion?
Question.
Question has been called. Before that resolution, vote yes. If against it, vote no. I got 23-4, none against. I declare that resolution passes. Okay. All right, Commissioner Couch.
This is resolution 121-922-121. This is a resolution,
Hey, Commissioner Couch, you want to back up and let's suspend the rules? If I can get a motion to suspend the rules and do another
we
reading?
want to suspend rules just for this motion.
Yeah. Yeah, for 22-121. All right. Okay, I got a motion by Roberts.
Question, Mr. Chairman. Is this the first time we're going to vote on this?
Yes.
Or we just passed bending the rules here on this particular motion?
Just this one
I
resolution.
thought we had to pass it. once.
Don't we have to pass this resolution first, then come back to it in the rules?
Yeah, I thought, okay, all right.
Sorry.
Hey, okay. Hey, if you're for the first reading of this resolution, vote yes. If you're against it, vote no.
Gotta get a second, Robert.
There we go.
Yes, I got a second from Robert.
Question.
Question been called. I got 22-4, one abstaining. I declare that resolution passes. Now, Commissioner Couch, you can suspend the rules.
I'd like make a motion to suspend the rules for this motion.
This particular
For
one.
this particular motion.
So moved.
All right, I got a motion by Hogan.
We need a second.
I need a second.
Strauss.
I got a second by Stroud. Any discussion?
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
we just need to understand that this suspending the rules is only on this motion.
On this motion, for this general fund,
Throughout the fund. Throughout the business.
you do a general fund in one night, you gotta spend, it's gotta have 2 readings. So we're spending the rules to get this in action.
Question.
All right, question being called. If you're for suspending the rules, vote yes. If you're against it, vote no.
Voice vote.
All right, voice vote. Man, I sure missed the full screen here. All right, if you're for suspending the rules, voice say aye. If you, aye. Anybody opposed?
Aye.
Okay, rules is suspended. We'll go back to the original motion on the second reading. Mr. Couch?
This is the second reading of 121-922-121. We get a second?
All right, I got a second by Commissioner Romo.
Question.
Question being called. For this resolution on the second reading, vote aye. If you're against it, vote no. Okay, I got 23-4, none against. That resolution passes. Mr. Couch?
Our last one, 121-922-122. This is a resolution to amend prior resolutions relative to the pilot in lieu of taxes for the Robertson County Industrial Development Board. We're modifying that, and we may have to make Margot a member if we need to, or.
Okay, let me get a second. Got a second by Commissioner Stacy Moore. Got a motion to make Margot Fosses a member of the court.
As well as Mr. Caleb Duke.
And Caleb Fuquay. I was gonna recognize him. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Is anyone opposed?
Yeah, he's got a hat on.
Industrial Board, the floor is yours. Caleb, you coming up?
Just a quick overview of what we're asking. This is the money that has been coming in from pilot agreements through the resolution that was passed in 2010, setting aside those monies for use for infrastructure and land and site development, for economic development. We've done a number of resolutions, which Clyde has detailed in that resolution. We currently have 2 that we have not billed this expenditure of. One is for $183,000 for lighting at exit 120 for Portland, and one is for $200,000 for infrastructure in this industrial we're talking about now. And just I do have some numbers for you. What we have in the industrial fund at the moment is $4,466,166. With those approved obligations of 383 coming off of that. We have invoices out now that are due by March 31st that total $873,536, making the funds we'll have available by March 31st, $4,900,056,702.75. So we do have the money in the funds. We also, as this resolution continues on, let's see, we have an additional $860,000 that will be invoiced in October 2023. And over the term of the current agreement, we anticipate close to another $6 million in payments to accrue to this fund by 2030. So We are well set to do this, to make this expenditure at this time. What we're asking for is permission to purchase up to 100 acres of the 200 acres that we have under option in White House for that industrial park. We currently have 2 prospects for purchase of land and building of buildings on that property. The way the options are written, we have to exercise the option for the entire parcel when part of it is sold. So we need to be in a position to be able to spend that money to buy the rest of the parcel as those things are sold. We also need to be in position to own more than 50% of the property in order to qualify for grants from the Tennessee Valley Authority's Economic Development Fund and from the state's Economic Development Fund, which we've been told we can get close to $2 million in grants from them for projects in this park. So we're happy to answer any other questions.
Any questions? This total project here is $500,000. I mean, it's $5 million.
$5 million.
And we're giving you authority to put a down payment on it or to purchase the total 100.
Purchase up to 100 acres.
You got a balance of 4.4 million. and you
By
got
March, we'll have
revenues
4.9.
4.9, so you're still gonna come up short.
We don't anticipate exercising those options all at once. It'll be a gradual thing as the property is sold.
Okay, the question is it lawful for us to go into a business deal in that particular, not having the money on hand at the time in this particular case? Are we legally okay with it?
That's the way I understand it, if I could. We won't exercise it unless someone exercises an option on it. And we have to buy, you have to buy the whole parcel of 100. So if someone exercises the option on 50 or 75, we're only going to buy the remainder, not the whole 100.
But we're setting up, I can only deal with what we've got to deal with now, not with what could happen.
Right.
Okay? And we could, I know.
I guess the answer to that question would be, we wouldn't expend more than's in the account.
Correct.
Okay.
So if someone purchased 35 acres of a 50-acre parcel, we would have to step in and exercise and pay for the 15 acres to make it whole. We can't just take the options we have. We can't separate the options. We have to.
So you got an option on 100 acres.
Yes.
200
acres.
200 acres. And you're short change. So I just want to know if you're going to come back to us as a commission and say, hey, we need some more money.
We're only asking to spend money that's in this fund that's set aside for
The
this.
4.4 million.
Well, it'll be 4.9 and by March.
And you
It's
still
probably
come
over
up
that
short,
now.
right? Come up a dollar.
25,000. We have
I understand what
other
you're saying,
funds with
but they're
that.
not going to exercise it unless someone else exercises the option to buy it first, is the way I understand it.
Or we need it to qualify for a grant.
So we exercise this, we'll get access to a lot of grant money.
Let me say, I'm not against this. I am for this situation.
Yeah.
But it looks like that we're going overboard and spending monies we do not have at the moment. And we've got them in the fund balance somewhere. But that's mean coming back to us and saying, hey, we need some more dollars for the revenue funds.
I guess the other part of this, and I'll ask Caleb to reiterate if this isn't true, but the Economic Development Board also has funds within that they've been accumulating for the hotel motel tax.
How much?
We're getting close to 800,000.
I was gonna say right below 900,000.
Okay, have y'all moved in your board to spend
Yes.
those funding?
We are
To
spending
balance
money out
off
of
this
that.
4.9 million that you will have.
Yeah.
Or the 4.4 million that you have now.
Yeah, I mean, we're not gonna spend $5 million and only have 4.4 or 4.9.
That's what I want to make
If
clear.
we're short, we'll take it from our board.
I just want to let the body know that we may have to come back and ante up. I'll quit asking.
Good question.
When are you looking for this to take place? March, April, or is there a time?
We could have an immediate, we have one contract that we're trying to negotiate right now that we may have to go ahead and exercise about 15 acres on. The other one is a project that we're waiting, we've been told we're at the top of the list for a project, the Economic Development, a Korean company that wants to purchase land there, and we should know that by the end of March.
It's been quickly expedited for sure.
You mentioned this would possibly allow the grant money coming in. Is some of that grant money for road improvements in this area?
Road improvements, water extensions, it can be used for any of those things.
As you well know, I'll be affected by the road improvements there, and that worries me, this project.
So best case scenario, what you're stating is, you have to accumulate at least 50% of this for this equation to work.
To get the grant money, yes, sir. And then when these options close, like for instance, one of the parcels is it's 50 acres and it's 35 acres is what they're needing. So we have to exercise and close the entire option out, not separate it. So we need to be in that position to be able to exercise our options, and fulfill our obligation of the contract.
And also want to make sure everybody understands that we're buying land with this money. So that land is not going down in value. So as this land is sold, that money will be returned to this fund.
Correct. That's key. So that gets returned back to this fund once we take the options and then the
As the land is
prospects
sold.
and the prospects buy it, it comes back to this fund.
Anyone else?
Question.
All right, question being called. If you're for this resolution, vote yes. If you against it, vote no. Got 22 for, 1 against. I declare that resolution passes. Thank you, Commissioner Cowles. Before the chair moves on, I'd like to recognize the work that Margot Fosnes has done for the industrial board. How many years? Do I need to say, ask?
It's been, I guess I've been working for the industrial board since 2010.
2010.
12 years.
I'll tell you what, a lot of good things is happening with the industrial board right now. And recognize Caleb Fuquay, he's the new chairman of the board. Congratulations, Caleb. Thank you. All right, moving on to the next resolution, the chair recognizes Commissioner Haley, coming from the Education Committee.
Mayor, Madam Clerk, esteemed members of the commission, citizens of Robert County, I present to you Resolution 121922123, resolution from the school board designating some surplus property, laptops for the students that are going to graduate early. Christmas.
Okay, I need a second. Second by Commissioner Woodard. Any questions for Commissioner Haley? Question being called. If you're for this resolution, vote yes. Against it, vote no. Uh, 23 for, 0 against. That resolution passes. Thank you, Commissioner Haley.
Yes, sir.
Move down to item 11, old business. Is any old business come before the commission? Seeing none, is there any new business?
Mr. Chairman, several weeks ago, the Finance Committee met. We had a situation to come to our county about purchasing different things and the limits of those purchases. We have been operating under the emphasis of you do the bidding and you have a $25,000 limit. And when we was at the state meeting in Gatlinburg last year, that was a great discussion that we had. The state finally ruled that if you have a person that's solely designed to be only a purchasing agent and nothing else, then that authority can be increased to 50,000 and not just 25. And based on the fact that we're under the Financial Act of 1981, the state of Tennessee recognizes that there's two different entities in our county structure in financing, and that is the school board and us as a county. So in that case, the county school education department has a person designated for purchasing, and that's all he or she will do. And that's established now. It just so happens that our purchasing agent does other things in our county. So we will remain at 25,000 and the school will be advanced to 50,000. And the only reason I'm bringing this up, there's no action for us to take. The movement's already been made. But one of these days, we're not going to be here and somebody may see that coming through and the school has more authority than we do. And that's not the case. They're just enacting what the state laws are permitting them to do. So I just bring that as a point of information for us.
Thank you, Commissioner Hogan. Any questions for Commissioner Hogan? Thank you, Commissioner Hogan. Dawkins, you got something you want to say?
Yes, I'd like to make a motion that we put Ms. Kendra Shelton as a member of the board to discuss the delinquent taxes.
Thank you. Get a second on that. Second, Commissioner Roberts. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Mr. Trustee, will you please come up and explain this action in new business?
Oh, sure. Good afternoon, evening, I guess it is. In the packet, I think there's a letter where I tried to explain what's going on. I felt like it was very thorough, but last year in the 2021 legislative body, the state approved a project where trustees can use a third-party collection agent to collect delinquent personal property. Because what we have always done is turn it over just like we do real property, but there's no property to sell that is continued to be delinquent. So the real property will go through the tax sale process after a few years pass, but the personal property just kind of sits there and never gets collected. Unfortunately, kind of turns out to be the same people that have learned the process, so they realize they don't have to pay and nothing happens to them. So since this is an opportunity that has presented itself, there is no cost to the county. The way the program works, we have sent out a request for proposal. It actually went out on Friday through the finance office. We'll get those back in January. Then I think it goes to finance committee for approval and then to you guys to actually approve a contract. If everything goes through, when I get ready to turn over delinquent taxes at March 31, I would like to turn over the real property to the delinquent tax attorney like we've always done, but instead take the personal property that's delinquent and turn over to this company and let them go through the process. And they will be very active in their collections and they will collect their fee on top of what's owed to us. So we will still be made whole. They will get their fee and we move on. Hopefully that would also be an encouragement for people to now pay on time. And that would not have to happen again. Sound good?
Yep. Anybody got any questions?
Okay, super.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for taking that action. Okay, is there any more new business to bring before the commission? I just want to say I recognize ex-commissioner, former commissioner Josh Evans sitting back here. Josh, prayers for you and your family, your mom and everything with the passing of your dad. Mr. Frank was a highly thought of person in this county. Always heard a lot about him. Prayers for you at Christmas here. Anybody else got any new business? Okay, I think, Mr. Hogan, you got something you want to ask?
Yes, sir, I do. Mr. Mayor, I have reviewed the applications of those wishing to become a notary. I recommend that we elect all those that have applied this month to be a notary for the county of Robertson and the great state of Tennessee.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Get a second on that?
Yeah, Bill Murdoch.
Bill Ray Dar seconded. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? So moved. Bubba?
Make a motion to adjourn, sir.
So moved. All the county commissioners need to step forward and talk to me just a second.
Y'all are all in trouble.